Hello, my name is Alan Boyer, and I'm here to talk to you today about my 2016 spring semester's internship. I interned at a small company called Tech Lab. They're based in West Allis and specialize in small business consulting for IT, although they also have many residential customers. They primarily offer technical support, but they also offer hosting services for web and email, as well as other IT development projects. My duties at Tech Lab included on-site tech support for their clients, remote support for their clients, consulting for their clients, and back-end development within the company itself. Much of my time at Tech Lab was spent developing backup solutions, both for the company and for its clients. As this was a part-time job that I acquired through means outside of MATC, I unfortunately can't offer much advice on how to seek an IT position, but what I can offer are the experiences that I've had at Tech Lab that enlighten me as to what sort of things IT departments and companies hiring IT people are looking for. One important thing that I learned was the practicality and the ubiquity of virtual machines. Virtual machines, aside from being a very economical solution, offer a lot of flexibility that a bare iron server just does not. The ability to back up the virtual machine as a set of files rather than as a system profile or any of the other assorted messy Windows backup solutions is invaluable, and the use of virtual machines will also help keep your company very fault tolerant, since you have the ability to back up and restore very easily from virtual machines. And I think that being familiar with how virtual machines work and virtual machine software will be an extremely valuable skill. The next skill that I found most useful was understanding the fundamentals of a network environment. While many companies have very complex networks, they all run on the same fundamental underpinnings, and most companies that have complex networks have solutions or technologies that are unique. So it's important to understand the fundamentals of networking and being able to troubleshoot and understand the baseline operation of a network goes a very long way in understanding a much more complex environment, since you can break down the network into its component communications. And in troubleshooting a system that's having network trouble, you can easily diagnose and solve basic networking problems using very basic tools before you jump into complex, highly technical, and environment-specific solutions. I think that understanding the basics of networking is one of the most valuable things that I learned at MATC, and keeping an eye on those basic facilities will serve you well if you move on in the IT field. The next thing that I learned is that encryption is something to take very seriously. With so many communications going out over the internet and so many important files being stored on internet accessible servers for VPNs and for small companies that can't afford dedicated web servers, having a baseline safeguard on your data is absolutely critical, and knowing and understanding encryption solutions will help you be a much better administrator. However, it's important to understand that you're being entrusted with very important data, and it is an important ethical stand to take to make sure that you safeguard data as well as you possibly can. While many encryption solutions are very dodgy, and some of them are more difficult than others, it's important not to cut corners in this respect, because you are being trusted with essentially a company's lifeblood, the information that allows it to continue to function. More broadly, I came to understand the role of an IT person, both as an outside consultant and as a professional within a company. An IT person is a person with solutions, yes, but they are also a person who has skills and understanding that are vital for a company's functioning, but aren't necessarily core to a company's business unless they're an IT company. As such, it's important for an IT person to be able to communicate not only their own value and the value of their work, but the value of investing in IT hardware, software, and solutions for the back end that may not necessarily provide direct commercial gain to the company, but that provide them with security, that provide their employees with the ability to continue to work productively, and that will help protect their company in the future from cyber attack or even simple obsolescence. On the other side of that coin, IT is not the business of most companies, and it's important for an IT person to keep the economic necessities or the economic priorities of the company in mind. They can't always be running on the latest hardware and the latest software simply because it wouldn't provide any extra value to them beyond small quality of life improvements. So it's important to be able to prioritize what is important to a company or a client and make decisions based on that. So I thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you were able to learn something from it. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully in the field.